first talk of, of Thiago Silva.
The talkSPORT Clips of the Week.
Yes, it is Clips of the Week time. Andy, would you like to give us the first one?
I'd love to, and we start with Hugh Wozencroft, who must be secretly hoping England change their manager.
Who are the big winners from the end of the transfer deadline? And can Gareth Southgate, we'll also be talking about England. We'll talk about the decision that Gareth Southgate, had to have been.
At least he didn't call him Gary.
Yeah, true. That would have been very insulting. Hugh wasn't the only one occasionally struggling to get the words out this week. Here's Simon Jordan.
There is no existing protocol there.
That, of course, is the utopia. But the overriding issue for Lanovan Donovan was a very difficult one.
Lanovan Donovan.
That's good, isn't it?
Good name.
And newsreader John Jackson.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit.
Clear and cool, but with some scattered showers.
Could have been worse.
Could have been worse, a lot worse, really.
Yeah. Here's Alan Brazil looking back on last night's game at Wembley.
A good win for England last night, beating Wolves 3-0 at Wembley in a friendly match.
Wolves are going to be annoyed with Conor Cody scoring in his own team.
That's right, it's a bit hooky, that, isn't it? Yeah, England beating Wolves. What's next, Andy?
Staying with breakfast, Alan and Jamie O'Hara ventured to the Northwest Pyramid.
Teams in Manchester right now that are in the football period struggling, really struggling to get by in the lower leagues.
Look at Bury.
Yeah. There's the team down there, Salford, Maidenhead.
Maidenhead? Not sure it's in the Northwest last time I looked. Going to set the sat-nav. Going to get lost, Jamie. I hope they don't play them. Billericay.
It's true.
And it wasn't Stuart Pearce with the new word of the week this week. It was Dean Ashton.
Because of the rule changes and because we've got VAR and they're looked at so scrupulously that...
Oh, yeah, scrupulously.
Scrupulously, of course.
And this was a strange moment with Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy. They crossed to Lisa O'Sullivan for a French Open tennis update.
Let's go to Lisa for a proper update, shall we, on the tennis, Lisa? So what's happening?
He's had a good old battle.
Oh, hold on, Lisa's there. Lisa, you there?
I am. Hello.
Lisa,
yes, I am.
do you own a ukulele?
Yes.
Bit sheepish.
When I'm serving tennis balls. It's tremendous, isn't it?
Yes. Marvellous. Bit of ukulele. Well, at least we know what Lisa is doing now. While she's watching the tennis, she's playing the ukulele. There's nothing wrong with that. You can multitask.
Why not?
Actually, Lisa was very insulting to Adrian Durham this week.
OK, let's catch up with the French Open tennis with Lisa O'Sullivan.
Cheeky little drop shot.
I've heard him called worse.
I have too.
Definitely.
By Arsenal fans. Yeah. England World Cup legend George Cohen now with an interesting turn of phrase around the COVIDiots.
To do something like that is mindless. I know that Southgate must be absolutely out of his potty.
He's got to be out of his potty, isn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a phrase they used in the 60s that sort of died out. And we were shocked to hear Jim White say this week.
This is the most common form of discrimination, isn't it, Jane? If we can eradicate football...
Blimey, we'll be out of a job, Jim. We'll be out of 2 jobs. I'm not sure that's a good idea. Scrap that one.
And we were equally surprised to hear Danny Mills say this.
Carvalho at Chelsea, brilliant player, but would stamp on his own grandmother.
I'm sure that's a red card, isn't it?
Well, I think
on your own grandmother.
You'd certainly expect the referee to take another look at it at the monitor, wouldn't you? If it stamped on his grandmother. It was a bit graphic that day, wasn't it? Really. Yeah. And Breakfast accidentally introduced us to a new Scotland player this week, and this is exactly how this went out.
There's a chance he could beat that. It's a remarkable achievement for a fine man.
And the boys, I feel sorry for Armstrong, Tierney.
Arnold Clark.
Oh, yeah. All 3 of them.
Yeah, Arnold Clark, Steve's boy. That's why he gets a game. I don't think he's up to much.
And also on Breakfast, Ray Parlour staked his claim to become talkSPORT's Bundesliga expert.
It makes no sense, but that's obviously the people that are running our country at the minute.
Oh, there's a picture in the papers today of Leipzig. And they've got 8,500 people in the stadium.
Leipzig? Is that a red-born Lemsip? Oh, it must be a
Leipzig Opic.
One of those cocktails that Ray tries when he's at home and he sends those pictures of himself topless with a bottle of lager. This was Sam Matterface with news of a surprise inclusion in the Chelsea midfield last weekend.
Havertz looked to be fouled on the halfway line as Chelsea brought it clear, and now Callum Hudson-Odoi and Abraham Lincoln midfield before getting it back to Zuma.
Abraham Lincoln? I hope he didn't go to the theatre in the evening after the match.
It wouldn't be a great idea. Playing football in a stovepipe hat cannot be easy, can it, really?
And finally, this week's epic match intro from Mark Saggers is brought to you by the letter H.
As we focus, though, on the Hammers, who hammered the opposition last week. What's going to happen against Leicester City? It's live.
What's going to happen? I don't know. What is going to happen? I've got absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
That was slightly bonkers. And we thought that deserved the musical treatment. And we have to admit, look, bear with us, it doesn't quite work, but it did make us laugh anyway.
Hammers. Hammered. Hammers. Hammers. Hammered. Happened.
Oh, you get the idea. It didn't quite work, but
I never got that song by Trini Lopez.
If I had a hammer?
Well, if he'd had a hammer, the whole thing would have been... that would have been the end of it, wouldn't it, really? I mean,
why is that?
He wouldn't have needed to say, if I had a hammer, he'd had a hammer. Why didn't he have a hammer?
I wouldn't open with that.
I'm not saying I would. I've just always been puzzled by the Trini Lopez song.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a new young comedian here in the open slot this evening. Give him a big hand. He's known to you on radio. Andy Jacobs.
Yes.
Comes out.
I come up with Trini Lopez material.
That Trini Lopez, if he'd had a hammer, he would have had a hammer. He wouldn't, if he said he'd had... Yeah. Thanks very much. Good night.
I shan't bother.
Greg Fieldmouse. These are all people that had clips played this week. Greg Fieldmouse, Harry Durham, Alan Jenkins, Jack and the Brain, Bob from Arbroath, Ali, Roger in Durham, Stone, Darren McAntony. That can't be right. You put that in there. AB, I'm not doing that one either. Most of these are just made up. What's he doing? Jeff Peters, that's for real. He did have one in. That was we should thank Jeff for the excellent Abraham Lincoln. That was very good. Rufus and many others besides. I'm not prepared to read out because it's getting beyond a joke, to be honest. But anyway, if you have had a clip on this week, please do send
a clip.
If I had a clip. Well, if you had a clip, he wouldn't need a clip, would he? Is that? I don't.
If you had a toolbox.
I still don't quite understand what you were getting at, Andy. With Trini Lopez, I don't quite know.
I'll explain to you.
Okay, thank you.
Did you drop your wallet up there the last time you were up at Alan?